Venom. Venom is the newest Sony movie that has come out. It stars the lovely Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, aka Venom. This movie was panned by critics, but it seems to be loved by fans. I'm going to go over some of the good things, some of the bad things, and then I do have some theories on why it was kind of perceived this way. So first off, let's talk good. Me, I'm a VFX guy. I love all digital effects in movies, and Venom is no exception. The Venom symbiote suit was fun and dynamic. It had some really cool textures to it. On top of that, the symbiote itself reminded me a lot of how it functioned in Spider-Man 3, where it was kind of this moving tar that kind of had a very aggressive feel to how it moved across the screen. I give full praise to the VFX team. They knocked it out of the park. I really like how they portrayed Venom. On top of that, I really like the portrayal that Tom Hardy did of Eddie Brock. In the trailers, a lot of people made fun of his New York-ish accent. In the movie, I couldn't tell. This was all based in San Francisco, and they all kind of talk in a very West Coast kind of way, except for Eddie. And it always gave him that outsider feel and that loner aesthetic that he is most known for. Besides that, his personality is of a really good guy who has a very abrasive personality. Like, he's the type of guy who will give money to the poor on the sidewalk, but at the same time fight someone in the bar because of their shirt. So he was a lot of fun to witness, and I really enjoyed how he portrayed a character like this, who most of his troubles come from just how he goes about his life. On top of that, one of my favorite parts of this movie was the portrayal of Venom the symbiote itself. He starts off as a very aggressive creature, but he slowly morphs into that voice in the back of your head that always is saying exactly what's on your mind. Like, if someone walks into the room and you have that thought of like, who the crap is this? He's saying that, but in a deep, awesome voice. So it was a lot of fun seeing his character go from this more aggressive creature to something that is more of like an attack dog who has a huge amount of loyalty for Eddie Brock. That was a very fun character, and I really like how they portrayed him versus Eddie. There was very much a dual dynamic there, and they bounced off each other very well. On top of that, and I don't know if I should be mentioning this, there's an after credits scene. Stay for it, be pleasantly surprised and blown away like I was. It was a great concept, and I can't wait to see where they go with it, if they get that chance. Now, there was some bad. Unfortunately, the villains of the movie weren't really built up well. Now, the billionaire bad guy had a pretty straightforward story, and honestly, it took 5 minutes in the beginning of the movie to set it up, and that's all you needed. And then there was a bad guy symbiote suit called Riot, and his was even shorter, and there was just no build up, unfortunately. So it was very fast and very quick and over. So they were lacking in the villains. On top of that, the story itself was super simple. Like, the main character arc of Eddie throughout this entire movie is him coming to terms with the fact that he's now a host for a parasite. Like, that was the whole thing. It was a very simple concept, and I wish they had done some more interesting things about it, but this is what we got. On top of that, the music. The music is so generic. Oh my god. It was so simplistic, and the music was so predictable and so cliche that it actually took me out of the film on a few occasions. Like, there's a part where Eddie hits the water hard, and there's a giant thud from the piano, and it was just a little too much. There is one exception to that, and this is me showing my fanboy. At the end, they had a Venom theme song that someone had put together, and it was freaking Eminem. Eminem made a rap song about Venom, and I kind of freaked out a little about it because that was like a merging of two worlds I never thought I would see, and I am now having that downloaded directly to my phone, and I'm going to be playing that on repeat for like the next month. But yeah, that was some of the good, and that was some of the bad. Now, I think the reason why so many people got polarized on this, especially the critics versus the actual fans, this movie sells you on Venom. They sell you on the character of Eddie Brock, they sell you on the character of Venom, they show their interactions. There's a really good camaraderie that comes from this, and you really get a fun enjoyment seeing these two comic book characters come to life in a really realistic way and you just really enjoy their back and forth. That being said, the story is pretty generic and the villains are very subpar, unfortunately, as narratives go. So as a critic, we've been seeing this for the last like 10-15 years, but as a fan, what we're seeing is our favorite characters, because Venom is a very popular character and a very awesome character at that. We're seeing this character really come to life with a really fantastic performance from the actors and a really cool back and forth. So ultimately, this comes off as this Venom movie would fit perfectly in like a Phase 1 Marvel movie, like in the same vein as like Iron Man 1. So if that's the case, if this movie is kind of the standard generic superhero movie going forward, then I'm excited because it means other people besides Marvel got it, which is you don't sell them on the budget, you don't sell them on the action, you don't sell them on the story, you sell them on the characters. That's first and foremost. Characters come first, but this movie sells you on the characters. And if this is the standard going forward, like, and other studios know that this is the standard going forward, I'm ecstatic. I'm super excited because that means all of our favorite characters we haven't seen yet, going forward, we're going to get movies about the characters. We're not going to get movies about crazy storylines that don't really mean anything. They're going to sell you on the character, and we're going to get that. And if that's our average like B movie going forward, that's good news. We're going to see pretty shortly with the new DC line coming out if they kind of caught the same wind. But ultimately, I land on this was a great movie. If you're a Venom fan, if you have seen any Marvel movie, you know how this is going to play out. But if this is the standard going forward, then that means us as moviegoers are just going to get a higher quality sort of film from now on. And I'm excited for that. The days of Daredevil, Elektra, and Catwoman are over. We now have character movies selling you on why people love these characters. And if the studios understand that and keep going forward, they're going to keep making money, and I'm going to keep going watching those movies. Anyways, this is Golden, and this has been Midas Touch.